Welcome to part 3 of 7 of our mega series, where we are going to be talking about 7 different finance and accounting qualifications to help you guys make an informed decision. Today we are going to be talking about CFA. We've already created videos on ACCA and CA, so if you are not sure, please go have a look at both of them. And we'll also be launching the other 4 videos soon, so you guys should have an entire detailed idea on what qualification should you choose for your career. Whether you've seen the show Billions, which is all about actually somebody owning a hedge fund, or you've seen movies like Wolf of Wall Street or The Big Short, which is about global financial crisis, or if you are a Bollywood fan, and you've seen Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, where Ritik's character is actually an investment banker. All of these are versions of what you can be if you enter the field of finance, obviously a little bit romanticized in these shows. It's like the equivalent of Harvey Specter, but for the field of finance. So if you are interested in pursuing a career in finance, you're probably, if not the only step, at least your first step to entering this field should be via the CFA, the Chartered Financial Analyst course, which is considered the #1 program in the world when it comes to finance and investment management. Along the way of this video, I will also be asking you guys 3 questions where I would like you to pause and answer. And we'll be choosing one of you guys who answers obviously all the 3 questions correctly and offering you all our CFA qualification for free. With that, let's jump into this video. So let's dive into the actual value of CFA in India and overseas. In India, the companies that are aware about CFA, #1, are almost every single company which is aware about a chartered accountant. They all know at least about CFA. Whether they hire or not is my second point. The companies which actually hire CFAs in India are obviously the big 4, PwC, KPMG, Deloitte, EY. The 5th biggest is Grant Thornton and BDO. These are all finance, accounting, consulting companies which obviously recognize CFA. Next comes international banks, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, Nomura. These are the kind of banks that again recognize and hire CFAs in bulk. When it comes to Indian companies, right, we have Motilal Oswal, Anand Rathi, we have all these banks in India which are into, it could be Kotak Securities, HDFC, we have Edelweiss. These are the kind of companies in India that again recognize CFA and are hiring. And these are only big companies. That is probably, this must be just the cream 10%. There are 90% of companies which are tier 2 companies which are also open to hiring CFAs, looking at options which are boutique investment banks, portfolio management companies, wealth management companies, etc. The plethora of opportunities in India is actually quite a lot. The salary packages. Now, let me make it simple. If you're 0 years experienced, then level 1, you might get 4 to 5 lakh rupees, and level 2 or level 3 without any experience might be slightly higher than that. However, if you start working maybe just after you've cleared level 1, so you might have around 6 months to a year's experience for level 2, another 6 months to a year's experience for level 3. Then by the end of level 3, your package can go anywhere from 12 to 24 lakhs depending on how you've cleared your papers, what experience you have, what companies you worked in, etc, etc. So the salary range can start basically more than what a graduate gets with level 1, all the way to what an extremely successful chartered accountant or an MBA can get towards a few years into your career. Let me give you a quick example. I have named Devanshi in my previous example. She was my friend in PwC. And after I left PwC, she landed up pursuing CFA. Now, after level 1, I think she continued working at PwC. There was nothing major over there. But after level 2, she started working in a smaller company to gain some exposure. And after level 3, she started working in a company called CRISIL. And in CRISIL, her salary after level 3 had crossed, I think, 10 or 12 lakhs minimum. Of course, she also had experience, but this is a mini example of somebody in Bombay, in India, taking up CFA after graduation. Another friend I keep talking about is Sharan. He was again in PwC, but he was a chartered accountant. His goal was to get into investment banking. So what he did was, he became a chartered accountant, worked in PwC with me for a while. While he was with me in PwC, he gave the CFA exams in front of me. He landed up obviously clearing. He was a really smart guy. He landed up clearing. After PwC, he joined Citibank because I think it's a combo of CFA and CA. And then he went and studied MBA in Rice University in the US. And after that, he's now working as an investment banker in the US. His goal was always investment banking. So he combined CA, PwC, CFA, Citibank, MBA, and then he got what he wanted. He put in the time and energy, but that's what you need to do if you want to get into a structured professional career. So this is what CFA is capable of. And of course, all I've mentioned is India, but the same things apply overseas. And in some countries, probably like a US, I'm sure that CFA is extremely well recognized, even more so than any other country. So I think having this qualification can at least give you comfort that in the field of finance, there are enough companies in India and overseas who recognize you and you can at least launch your career. Next, coming to the kind of profiles that you guys can work in. CFA is obviously, I had mentioned investment banking. Please remember guys, investment banking is very difficult to get in just with CFA. Most likely you also need an MBA. Then there is what we call a wealth manager. Over and above that, there's corporate finance, there's personal finance. I can go on and on. Anything to do with money, CFAs are capable of actually taking up. Question, for 2025, which are the months in which level 2 attempts take place? Next, let me get into the eligibility. Now, I think almost in the last, 50 odd years, first time CFA Institute has made a massive change when it comes to the eligibility. Till last year, you could only appear for CFA in your final year of graduation, which for most of us is the third year. And if you're in engineering also, it's your fourth year. But now CFA has reduced that eligibility. They are telling us you can start from your second last year, which means if you're doing a 3-year BCom, you can appear for your exams in your second year and start studying in your first year. So now most students who've just given grade 12 are in a position to start studying for CFA, give the level 1 exam in their second year, continue studying, give level 2 exams in your third year, and then only after graduation are you eligible for level 3. This was not the case earlier, so please guys may take advantage of this, because if you've been following my channel, I've been saying it time and again. Time is one of the biggest advantages that I received, and I want you guys to understand and share it. So if you're watching this, you're in a position to put in extreme effort but get through CFA at an early age, please do. You will thank me and this video 10 years later for sure. Now let me come to the academic structure of CFA. Now CFA has 3 levels, right? Level 1, level 2 and level 3. All the 3 levels have the same 10 subjects as you can see on the screen. The only difference is that level 1 has a weightage higher on introductory subjects like economics, quantitative methods, financial statement analysis, ethics. And as you go to level 3, derivatives, portfolio management, etc. become more important. Next question. What are the windows for the CFA scholarship, the current ongoing one as well as the upcoming one? Next, when it comes to exam window. So when are these exams conducted? So level 1 is conducted every quarter, 4 times a year in February, May, August and November. Level 2 is conducted thrice a year and level 3 is conducted twice a year. These months are currently changing a little bit for level 2. So please keep an eye out for the official news on the official CFA Institute website. Next comes the most important question of the exam duration. If you are deciding to pursue CFA, what should be the time frame in your mind? Well, on an average, I would say for 3 levels, you should comfortably take 2.5 to 3 years. I would say more than that, you can take, many people do take, but it's not worth it. I feel we can, if you're focused enough, you can finish it in less than 3 years. And if you want to really go fast, not for everybody, but you can finish each level in 6 months at the minimum. So that's 1.5 years. That being said, of course, like I said, 2.5 to 3 years is what I consider for ZEL students a comfortable time frame. Next, passing rate. So passing rate means out of 10 students that sit, how many will end up clearing? Simply put, historically in CFA, 4 to 5 people end up clearing out of 10 every attempt. This fluctuates with changes that have come in the recent past, COVID, etc., etc. But more or less, that's the average. In fact, at ZEL, we have, because of the ecosystem we've created of great faculties, content, counselors, etc., we obviously have a higher passing rate where 7 to 8 people out of 10 land up clearing these exams. Lastly, when it comes to the paper pattern. Now, paper pattern is what kind of exams? Level 1 and level 2 are only multiple choice questions, objective questions, no negative marking. And level 3 is much more of subjective, where you have to actually type down answers. All these exams are computer based. You have to go to a center and end up giving these exams on the day of the exam. So I hope that the academic structure is starting to make sense. Now, let me explain you a few changes that have happened in CFA. By the way, we made a detailed video on the major changes that CFA had sort of put out last year. Please have a look if you want to understand more of the details. Coming back to this point, lastly, the changes that I was talking about that CFA has made, there are a couple of them which you should know from the academic structure. One, there are certain topics which have been reduced from the old syllabus, like time value of money, microeconomics. So if you're a candidate studying by yourself, please remember to ensure you know these concepts. For example, at Zell, what we do is we've included these in what we call a pre-learning. So no student has to really suffer in case they don't remember these concepts. Second, there is a practical skill module, PSM, what CFA is introduced. Now, this is to make you more employable. And what they're trying to do is there are self-paced modules which you have to do by yourself before your level 1 result and level 2 result. Okay. Before the level 1 result, you'll have to sort of give one of these modules which are either on financial modeling or Python. And it's good, it's something you can do before, during or after your exam, but it has to be done before the result. Same thing happens for level 2. Just remember to follow these. It's actually, this body is trying to do good things by getting us more sort of job ready, giving us these things to learn which are needed in the real world without actually testing us in the exams. A last point, guys, is on what does it require experience-wise to go from a CFA level 3 candidate to a CFA charter holder. As most of you guys know, while CFA level 1, level 2, level 3 all have value, the highest value that CFA can get you is when you are a CFA charter holder. So how do you become a charter holder? You clear the 3 levels and you have a total of 3 years of experience in the field of finance. Now, it could be corporate finance, it could be investment banking, it could be portfolio management, all the things we discussed, but it should be related to finance. And that's when you can call yourself a CFA charter holder. That's when companies will give you the highest value in terms of profile, package, etc., etc. Final question. There were 6 major changes in the CFA curriculum since last year, as I mentioned. I've already spoken about eligibility and the practical skill modules. There were 4 others. Name any 2 other changes right now. And finally, the most important question for all Indian students, how much is the fees for this qualification? So, as you can see on the screen, it's quite detailed. You can pause and have a look. But the long and short of it is, guys, the entire CFA qualification you can complete within 3 to 4 lakh rupees, which includes all the points. Includes registration, exam fees, training fees, study material, any and everything that the body is asking you of. So have this budget in mind. Now, the advantage of this is none of this has to be paid at once. You pay this more or less as you go along. Second, like I mentioned, even before level 1 or at least after level 1, make sure you start working so you can start earning while you're learning. And that gives you the confidence to keep moving ahead, pay your own fees, pass the exams by yourself. It's a very healthy way of studying in the real world. And after you're done with the qualification, the major packages that you start earning in a few years will obviously be north of 8 lakhs, 10 lakhs if you're a good candidate, and can go up to 20, 30, 50 lakhs depending on how you progress in your life. So the initial investment is completely worth it for any of these professional qualifications. So guys, I hope that this gives you complete clarity on what CFA is all about. We also I've made videos on combining CFA with MBA or with CA or with other qualifications. Leaving links here. Please go and have a look at all of them. Make an informed decision so that by the end of this video, if there is any value that you're gaining, filling in gaps of your knowledge, leave it in the comments, give us a thumbs up, and I hope that you let us know if you've taken a decision based on this video.